Episode 3, the final episode of Way in the Middle of the Air by Ray Bradbury of the Martian Chronicles book of short stories. From where we left off. What am I going to do nights? He watched the dust settle, and suddenly it came to him. He remembered nights when men drove to his house, their knees sticking up sharp and their shotguns sticking up sharper, like a car full of cranes under the night trees of summer, their eyes mean. Honking the horn at him and slamming his door, a gun in his hand, laughing to himself, his heart racing like a 10-year-old's, driving off down the summer night road. A ring of hemp rope coiled on the car floor, fresh shell boxes making every man's coat look bunchy. How many nights over the years, how many nights of the wind rushing in the car, flopping their hair over their mean eyes, roaring as they picked a tree, a good, strong tree, and rapped on a shanty door. So that's what the son of a bitch meant. Teese leaped out into the sunlight. "Come back, you bastard! What am I going to do nights? Why, that lousy, insolent son of a..." It was a good question. He sickened and was empty. Yes, what will we do nights? He thought. Now they're gone. What? He was absolutely empty and numb. He pulled the pistol from his pocket, checked its load. "What you going to do, Sam?" someone asked. "Kill that son of a bitch." Grandpa said, "Don't get yourself heated." But Samuel Teese was gone around behind the store. A moment later, he drove out the drive in his open-top car. "Anyone coming with me?" "I'd like a drive," said Grandpa, and got up. "Anyone else?" Nobody replied. Grandpa got in and slammed the door. Samuel Teese gutted the car out in a great whirl of dust. They didn't speak as they rushed down the road under the bright sky. The heat from the dry meadows was shimmering. They stopped at a crossroad. "Which way they go, Grandpa?" Grandpa squinted. "Straight on ahead, I figure." They went on. Under the summer trees, their car made a lonely sound. The road was empty, and as they drove along, they began to notice something. Teese slowed the car and bent out, his yellow eyes fierce. "God damn it, Grandpa, you see what them bastards did?" "What?" asked Grandpa, and looked. Where they had been carefully set down and left in neat bundles every few feet along the empty country road were old roller skates, a bandana full of knickknacks, some old shoes, a cartwheel, stacks of pants and coats and ancient hats, bits of oriental crystal that had once tinkled in the wind, tin cans of pink geraniums, dishes of waxed fruit, cartons of Confederate money, wash tubs, scrub boards, wash lines, soap, somebody's tricycle, someone else's hedge shears, a toy wagon, a jack-in-the-box, a stained glass window from the Negro Baptist Church, a whole set of brake rims, inner tubes, mattresses, couches, rocking chairs, jars of cold cream, hand mirrors, none of it flung down. No, but deposited gently and with feeling, with decorum, upon the dusty edges of that road, as if a whole city had walked here with its hands full, at which time a great bronze trumpet had sounded. The articles had been relinquished to the quiet dust, and one and all the inhabitants of the earth had fled straight up into the blue heavens. "Wouldn't burn them," they said, cried Teese angrily. "No, wouldn't burn them like I said, but had to take them along and leave them where I could see them for the last time on the road. all together and whole. Them Negroes think they're smart. He veered the car wildly, mile after mile down the road, tumbling, smashing, breaking, scattering bundles of paper, jewel boxes, mirrors, chairs. There, by damn, and there! The front tire gave a whistling cry. The car spilled crazily off the road into a ditch, flinging Teese against the glass. Son of a bitch! He dusted himself off and stood out of the car, almost crying with rage. He looked at the silent, empty road. We'll never catch them now. Never, never. As far as he could see, there was nothing but bundles and stacks and more bundles neatly placed like little abandoned shrines in the late day, in the warm, blowing wind. Teese and Grandpa came walking tiredly back to the hardware store an hour later. The men were still sitting there, listening and watching the sky. Just as Teese sat down and eased his tight shoes off, someone cried, "Look!" "I'll be damned if I will," said Teese. But the others looked, and they saw the golden bobbins rising in the sky, far away, leaving flame behind. They vanished. In the cotton fields, the wind blew idly among the snow clusters. In still farther meadows, the watermelons lay unfingerprinted, striped like tortoise cats lying in the sun. The men on the porch sat down, looked at each other, looked at the yellow rope piled neat on the store shelves, glanced at the gun, shells glinting shiny brass in their cartons, saw the silver pistols and the long black metal shotguns hung high and quiet in the shadows. Somebody put a straw in his mouth. Someone else drew a figure in the dust. Finally, Samuel Teese held his empty shoe up in triumph, turned it over, stared at it, and said, "Did you notice? Right up to the very last, by God, he said, Mister."